og Apple Store, YouTube ug Twitter. Alang sa mas ipakuskan nga mga balita, komentaryo, kasayuran ug kalingawan. DXDX Size 93, ang mas ipakuskan nga inyong Radyo Ronda.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
The COVID-19 pandemic has been an emotional roller coaster for all of us. And while we're busy working from home and homeschooling our children, our minds are overwhelmed with other stressors, such as the rising COVID-19 cases here in the country. Why don't we forget all of that even for just a brief moment? Slow down for a while, breathe in and out a few times. If your mind wanders, notice that and gently return your attention to your breathing. On the program today, we'll talk about how to use mindfulness and meditation in the time of COVID-19. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez and welcome to MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. With so many demands on our time and our minds, we often lose sight of why we're doing the things we do and, more importantly, how we're feeling. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the present moment and accept it without judgment. Growing research shows that this practice is key in reducing stress and improving overall happiness. Let's welcome our guests for today. With us is Mr. Nino Galagak. He's the head psychologist at Heal Space Psychological Clinic. Also with us is Ms. Ayik Suarez Ramos. She's a certified corporate wellness consultant from Wellness Without Borders. Now, many people think that mindfulness is about quieting the mind. Actually, the mind isn't going to stop wandering or even thinking. Coach Ayik, I'll start with you. Let's explain how mindfulness works.
To be honest, mindfulness is something that all of us already have. Now, all you have to do is just really be intentional and know how to activate it. Most of the time, because we are so caught up, yes, you are right, the mind gets too busy and it doesn't stop. But sometimes you should know how to calm itself down. Yeah.
This state of mind can be cultivated through meditation. Nino, how does meditation differ from mindfulness?
Mindfulness is a state of awareness wherein our full attention, just like what you have mentioned, is at the present moment. This is when we welcome our thoughts, feelings, and even what we feel in our body without resistance, and we do not judge whether these experiences are right or wrong or whether they're good or bad. While meditation, on the other hand, is an act. You could think of it as a practice or a strategy that you use to achieve that state of mindfulness. So there are a lot of different meditation activities, but all are gearing towards, making you more mindful.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's not easy to just stop thinking or even stop worrying. But Coach Ayik, what would be a good way to start?
It's all about preparation. To be honest, now, as what I've mentioned earlier about intentionality, no matter if there is not really like a right time for you to start meditating. Set yourself finding a right space and a right time for it. You've mentioned earlier about not necessarily having to complete like a full sequence of meditation, like for 30 minutes or for an hour. Even just 5 minutes a day will really help us. But again, begin with an open mind. Yeah.
Okay. Now, thousands of years ago, Buddhists would practice mindfulness and meditations for spiritual enlightenment. Today, health experts discovered that this age-old tradition could reap tremendous benefits for us. Now, Coach Ayik, let's go through some of the benefits for our viewers.
The benefits of mindfulness and meditation, have greatly expanded from spiritual benefits. Most importantly, in our physiological benefits, benefits sa katawan natin is actually will really help you. First and foremost is greater self-awareness. You will learn how to listen to your body. There are many different kinds of meditation, but most importantly is the health benefits it gives us. Better mental clarity, it gives you focus and alertness. So again, it's actually a total body importance of like this bringing into ourselves.
Now, psychotherapists have recently turned to mindfulness to ease psychological stresses like depression and anxiety disorders. And it can be especially helpful in today's reality where stress and anxiety can be very overwhelming. Now, Nino, can we discuss the relationship between mindfulness as well as stress and anxiety, which are so prevalent sa ating mga Pilipino ngayon?
Doc, what happens is when you are not mindful, your attention is not with the present moment. So we tend to ruminate about the past and we remember most especially, the bad things that have happened. And it makes us sad and it could even send us to an episode of depression. Whereas on the other hand, if you worry so much of the future, it could make you very anxious. So mindfulness actually helps us acknowledge that the only time we actually have is the now. And it makes us very grounded. It could make us really focus our energies and direct our attention to what truly matters and to what is truly important in the present.
Very interesting. Now, studies have found that mindfulness can affect our bodies as well as our minds, with reports on reduced pain and lower blood pressure on those who practice it. Coach Ayik, let's explain that naman.
Once you are stressed and once you feel anxious, you thought that your mind is just the one that is working, but actually it has a great effect on your body. So oppositely, if you do the mindfulness, same thing. If you put your body, imagine that you're putting your body in a calm state, even just for a couple of minutes per day, it gives you that increase in, for example, in your hormones. It gives you that uplift, greater sense of well-being, and later on you will feel like pains, tensions on your body, good posture will also be developed. So again, there are so many ways on how mindfulness can really work.
Yes, that's true. And ultimately, what we want to partake in this is that mindfulness can help improve our overall happiness. Nino, tell our viewers more about this.
When we're mindful, like what Coach Ayav mentioned, we become less stressed, no? And when we are less stressed, that helps us also become more aware of what is happening around us and even inside of us. And when we are in that state, it allows us to think more critically and more carefully of our actions. When we are open to our experiences, we become creative. It helps us to sleep better. It improves our relationship. And when you have all of those, then ultimately that could make you happy and satisfied with your life.
Whether through meditation or through breathing exercises, there are many ways to practice mindfulness. Yan ang pag-usapan natin after a short break. So stay with us here on MedTalk Health Talk. You're watching CNN Philippines.
RPN DXDX General Santos. Tuna Exporters Multi-Purpose Cooperative. Tuna Exporters Multi-Purpose Cooperative. Niining panahona, lisod alang kanato ang maginabuhi nga walay kasiguruhan. Hilabi na niining panahon sa krisis sa COVID-19. Busa ang ngayon gayon nga magkasiguro kita sa atong paglahutay sa matag adlaw, inubanan sa mga pag-ampo ug sa tabang sa labaw makagagahon. Ang Tuna Exporters Multi-Purpose Cooperative 19 katuig na nga matinud-anong nag-amping sa tanang miyembro niini ana-ana sa mukabat 2,400 ka mga dedikado ug kulihan nga member owners ang kasamtangang malipayon nga ginabuhi sa nagkalalaing kliyenteng kumpanya sa Temco. Pagpamatuod nga misubay gayud kini sa iyang misyon nga muhatag og gikalidad, epektibo ug kasaligan nga pagpanerbisyo sa tanang kliyente ingon man ang sustinableng panginabuhian alang sa tanan. Uban sa pag-uswag sa matag kinabuhi sa mga member owners, napatuman sa Temco ang iyang tumong nga makahatag og maayo, kasaligan ug matinud-anon nga pagpanerbisyo alang sa tanan niining giampingang kliyente. Busa igsuon aron kita makasiguro paninguha agayon nga magkapambyembro sa Tuna Exporters Multi-Purpose Cooperative. Temco, serbisyo at benepisyo para sa mga miyembro. Yan ang Temco.
mga momshies! Gusto mo bang gumanda, ngunit di sapat ang iyong budget? Halina't bumisita na sa Sally Beauty Salon. Sally Beauty Salon. Sa Sally Beauty Salon, meron silang pedicure, manicure, rebonding, hair color, foot spa, haircut at iba pa. Located at facing Jensen City Public Market. For reservations, tumawag lang sa mga numerong 0908-761-3471 at 0975-517-8814. Tayo na sa Sally Beauty Salon.
I'm a fireball.
Hanap mo ba ay ekspertong serbisyo ng barbershop at salon? Dito na tayo sa Master's Cut Barbershop. Serbisyo ay garantisado sa presyong sulit. They offer hair color, hair spa, shaving, massage, and other salon services. Kaya mga bossing, pagdating sa inyong gupit at salon services, huwag kumuha ng mga utusan. Dito tayo sa Master's Cut Barbershop. Puntahan ang kanilang tanggapan sa Tiramir Street, former Lapu-Lapu Street, Barangay Jangis East, General Santos City. O maaaring tumawag sa cellphone number 0919-09-89928. Master's Cut Barbershop. Bored ka na ba sa mga tourist spot na palagi mo nalang pinupuntahan? Wala nang bago? Andito na ang North Deck Sinawal Restaurant and Tiki Bar, the newest tourist spot in Jensan. Gusto nyo magkape, may putumaya, boko halo, sikwate, and of course, ang kanilang masasarap na pagkain sa kanilang restaurant, katulad ng Filipino International Cuisines. At marami pang pagpipilian na tsakswak sa inyong lasa at sa bulsay abot kaya. Busog ka na sa masarap na pagkain, busog ka pa sa magandang tanawin. Huwag kaligtaan ang kanilang live hito grilled or deep fried. Of course, halal foods po ito. Sila ay bukas mula alas 4 ng umaga hanggang alas 8 ng gabi. Kaya huwag niyo kalimutan, North Deck Sinawal Restaurant and Tiki Bar. Sila ay matatagpuan sa Proc Soriano Diversion Road, Barangay Sinawal, General Santos City. O maaaring tumawag sa kanilang cellphone number 0935-7454-329. Hanapin lamang si Fernan Bornales. North Deck Sinawal Restaurant and Tiki Bar, the newest tourist spot in Jensen.
RPN DXDX General Santos.
Mindfulness can play a role in reducing stress and managing anxiety. And it's exactly what we need these days, and it can help relieve pain and with blood pressure. Now, the idea of it is simple. Pause, breathe, and reflect. But it's not necessarily that easy. Today, we'll talk about the different ways to cultivate mindfulness. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome back to MedTalk Health Talk, your partner in healthcare. Mindfulness is something we all have, but it's more available to us when we practice it on a daily basis. We mentioned that the formal way of developing it is through meditation. Coach Ayik, please explain the process of meditating.
With meditation, no, there again, as I've mentioned earlier, there are so many kinds of meditation, and of course the process could be different too. But ultimately, the four major processes of meditation is first, you need to be grounded. Stay with your awareness. Next is analyzation. So as you scan through the body, there are some meditation who will begin by scanning from their head all the way down to their shoulders, their legs, and then from all the way to their toes. So it's more of analyzation. Next is, of course, acceptance and acknowledgement. It's very important as you listen to the body, you do something about it. So again, if you feel any tension, any feel pain, don't be harsh on yourself. This is more of you finding yourself to have that kind of awareness, listen to it, and be able to do something about it.
Now, Nino, how often and for how long should we be meditating?
Actually, if you look into the results of many clinical studies, you would see there that they recommend different time intervals or duration for doing mindfulness meditation. The average would be at least to have it 45 minutes a day. But aside from the length or duration of your practice, what's more important also is your consistency. meaning to say maintaining it as part of your daily routines should make it more beneficial for you, aside from how long you do it actually.
Now, in addition to meditation, there are less formal approaches that can train your mind to be fully present. Coach Ayik, let's discuss that naman. What are some of these other practices?
So mindful practice, again, if you are gonna go through like researching, there are 6 steps to meditation, 8 steps, 4 steps meditation. But again, one way or another, all of these its purpose is for us to a practice that is workable and practical for you. Again, as Dr. Freddy was saying, any time of the day, even at night before you sleep or starting your day in the middle of it. Breathing exercises is one example of that practice. Again, being more aware as you try to breathe in and breathe out in a calming state, have yourself in a seated position, being just more aware. Again, what is workable for you and how would be able to address the concern that you are feeling. It's more of like really a self-reflection in each of these practices.
Those that you mentioned, Coach Ayik, are very good. And also similar to meditation, some of those practices that you mentioned involve using your breath as an anchor. Now, could you share with us, Coach Ayik, some breathing exercises naman that we could use?
Breathing exercise, for example, is when you try to inhale, you try to allow the full expansion of your lungs so you can hold it. We have this 8-8-4 sequence. So when you try to inhale, you count by 1, 2, 3, 4 until you finish that 8 seconds. And then you exhale it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then hold your breath for 4 seconds. And then again, inhale for 8 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds, and then hold it for 4 seconds. I want you to feel that it's more of you getting all the feeling of gratefulness, thankfulness, all the positive energy that you would want to acquire. And then exhale all the negativity. And once you exhale that carbon dioxide, so again, even if it's just a simple breathing pattern, as long as you are intentional on bringing in what's something that is good to you and bringing out what is something that you do not need or something that stresses you out. So yeah, that will really be helpful.
Breathing exercises right there. Now, yoga and Tai Chi are popular exercises that are grounded on breath work. Now, Nino, let's explain how they can help us be more mindful.
Yoga and Tai Chi are actually mindfulness activities which include a lot of gentle movements. There are postures also that you have to do, and it really would require a lot of deep movements to your body. You activate the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the part of your body which regulates relaxation, and it could also make you very focused.
Now, we can also exercise mindfulness by deliberately paying attention to activities that are routine to us, like mindful eating as well as physical activity.
During mindful eating allows us to just slow down and just savor the moment and really just enjoy this very usual and mundane activities. So these are very these activities are very like what I've said, very usual that we do daily. But when we immerse ourselves with these activities, by paying attention to what we're doing, it could make so much difference.
Now, eventually, you'll be more mindful when you're doing things that mean more to you, like spending time with your friends and family, or even just watching TV or reading a book. Nowadays, routine activities involve following health standards against COVID-19. Nino, can you give us some examples on how we can practice mindfulness in this time of COVID-19?
There are many ways to practice mindfulness, especially in these times where many of our activities are restricted and we're just mostly at the confines of our home. So, Coach Ayik already mentioned breathing exercises and muscle relaxation, but physical activities such as brisk walking or yoga, Dr. Freddy also mentioned guided meditation. Those are mindfulness activities that you could try, but also like taking time for some social media detox, single tasking, or not, trying to do everything at once, and praying. are also some of the mindfulness activities that you could incorporate in your day.
Now, is there evidence that mindfulness works? We'll discuss this when we return. We want to be your partner for a lifetime of good health, so keep it here on CNN Philippines.
RPN DXDX General Santos.
Hirap ka ba sa budget para sa party or any occasions? Nandito na ang Garden Heaven Suites. Avail na sa kanilang exclusive venue with rooms, swimming pool, food and decors sa abot kayang halaga. Ang Garden Heaven Suites ay matatagpuan sa Purok 15, Block 7, Barangay Lagaw, General Santos City. Pwede silang tawagan sa cellphone number 0917-8905-701. Look for Miss Cheryl.
Promo alert! Promo alert!
Promo for as low as 23,000 pesos. Meron ka ng exclusive venue, backdrop decor, table set, catering for 50 packs, 4 rooms with aircon, TV closet, sounds and lights, and other freebies. Kaya tawag na sa 0917-8905-701. Huwag kalimutan, Garden Heaven Suites.
Sa bakunang parating, aangat ang pag-asa. Malalabanan ng pandemya. Aangat rin ng kumpiyansa. Pag nagmask, hugas, at iwas pa, mababawasan na ang kaba. Sa iyong pagpapabakuna, maiingatan ang sarili at ang kapwa. Pag nagpabakuna, ingat-angat tayong lahat. Ingat-angat, bakuna lahat. A message from PMA, PSMID, and kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Ikaw ba nagapangita og customizing cake sa inyong matag okasyon? Para sa mga katawhan sa Glan og Jazz Jose Abad Santos, ani ana ang maayong balita og solusyon sa imong gipangita.
Edsoy's Cake Shop.
Edsoy's Cake Shop. Ang Edsoy's Cake Shop naga-offer kaninyo og birthday customizing cake, wedding customizing cake, anniversary customizing cake, ug uban pa. Para sa dugang impormasyon, pwede usab kamo mo follow sa ilang Facebook page, Edsoy's Cake Shop, located at Purok Pangi, Barangay Big Margos, Glan, Sarangani Province.
Sa mga minamahal naming mga member, consumer owners, maaari din pong magbayad ng Socoteco 2 Power Bills sa mga sumusunod na payment channels. Para sa full payment ng past due at current accounts, maaaring magbayad sa SM Mall of Jensen, Save More Kalumpang at Save More Purok Malakas. At para naman sa full payment bago ang due date, maaaring magbayad sa M. Luwilier, Palawan, RD Pawn Shops at Socoteco 2 accredited banks gaya ng BDO Unibank Pioneer Avenue, Amana Islamic Bank, South Osmeña, Enterprise Bank, Magsaysay Avenue, Sterling Bank of Asia, Jose Catolico Avenue, Penn Bank, Pulumulok and Tupi, Penn Bank, Fishport and RD Plaza, Bank of Commerce, Santiago Boulevard, People's Bank, Santiago Boulevard. Isang paalala mula sa Socoteco 2.
Ang Boses ni Juan 2021 ay hatid sa inyo ni
Mr. Eugene Tata Alzate.
Mr. Eugene Tata Alzate ng Glan, Sarangani Province.
Mga butang nga angay himuon aron malikayan ang COVID-19. I-disinfect ang gamit sa balay nga pirmi ginagunitan sama sa doorknob ug switch sa suga. Ayaw isagol ang tissue ug disposable face mask sa inyong basurahan. Ayaw ipagpag ang hugaw nga bisti sulod sa inyong balay. Ipabilin ang kahinlo ug kahapsay sa panimalay. Alang sa mga concerns, tambag, sugyot o suhestyon, tawag sa Jensen COVID-19 Hotline 0951-088-8801 hangtod 8807. Sa giyera kontra COVID-19, ang atong armas mao ang panaghiusa. Matag general at dunay kaakuhan. Matag general at dunay kalambigitan. Coffee Out, Laban Jensen. Pahinumdum, gikan sa lokal nga panggamhanan sa dakbayan sa General Santos.
RPN DXDX General Santos.
The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the mental health of many, from anxieties brought about by quarantine restrictions to fear from constant COVID-19 related news. Can mindfulness and meditation protect against COVID-19 stressors? I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this is MedTalk Health Talk, where your health comes first. Mindfulness and meditation protects mental health during COVID-19. Coach Ayik, have there been any studies on this so far?
Studies have shown that the COVID-19, apart from attacking you because of your lower immunity, is also attacking us mentally and psychologically. Why? It's because all of these, what the pandemic have brought in us is us staying at home, feeling worried about what's ahead of us, financially, right? With our relationships with our family. So a lot of stressors.
Now, ultimately, mindfulness can help us process these strong emotions brought about by the pandemic. Now, Nino, what are things to keep in mind when practicing mindfulness during COVID-19?
Dr. Freddy, it's really important that we set a time of our day where we could just be silent and alone with our thoughts and feelings, to just pause and take a good breathing. And like what I have said a while back, consistency is very important. What you have set into doing, maintain it and make it a part of your daily routine.
And while mindfulness and meditation isn't a quick fix, it can yield rewarding results. Coach Ayik, I'm sure many of our viewers might be wondering how long until they start seeing changes if they start doing this consistently.
Well, to be honest, as early as 5 days of continuously doing it. There are some research of doing it for 5 minutes for the next 5 days in the morning really affects their overall day. But in the long run, it's really such a good practice of you finding yourself on those practices and how can you be happier.
Before we go, Nino, do you have any advice for our viewers, especially for those who are new to being mindful about themselves?
So all be kind to ourselves. We must be able to really treat ourselves gently, just as how we would like to treat others, and treating others with compassion and remembering that kindness begins with oneself. And with meditation and mindfulness, that is one way you could be kind to yourself.
And Coach Ayik, any advice for your viewers today?
So again, my advice is for you to just really try. Again, have that intention of what it's in it for you this time. Have that kind of reflection to yourself. Again, being kind to yourself is one way of you loving yourself. And if this is something that would help you, with your mental health, and why not try it with us?
And the more time you spend practicing mindfulness, you'll find yourself calmer and kinder to yourself and those around you. And this will trickle down to other aspects of your life. It was a meaningful conversation today, so thank you, psychologist Mr. Nino Galakgak and wellness coach Ayik Suarez Ramos for guiding us on today's topic. Remember, mindfulness is a practice you can keep coming back to. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and we'll see you again next time. Stay safe, everyone.
Gikan sa tuna capital of the Philippines, General Santos. Nagsilya sa gikusgon ni 5,000 watts. Kini ang sibianan sa RPN Radio Philippines Network. Radio Philippines Network. DXDX 693 kHz. Ang inyong Radyo Ronda sa syudad sa mga kampiyon. Live to the world, pinaagi sa FB page. Karon, mag-download na. Pinaagi sa Google Play o Apple Store, YouTube o Twitter. Alang sa mas ipakuskan ng mga balita, komentaryo, kasayuran o kalingawan. DXDX size 93 ang mas kipakusgan nga inyong Radyo Ronda.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Mga balita sa Kapitolyo sa Sarangani.
Dungag 2 ka milyon ka pesos nga ayudang pinansyal ipanghatag sa matag munisipyo sa Sarangani Province alang sa nagpadayong pakigbatok sa COVID-19. Samtang Sarangani COVID Center giablihan na. Nakakuha pa og outright 100% perfect score atol sa DOH licensing inspection. Aprobado na sa sangguniang panlalawigan ang dungag 2 milyon ka pesos nga ayudang pinansyal alang sa matag munisipyo sa probinsya sa Sarangani. Kinatibuk ang 14 milyones ka pesos nga pondo ang giandam karon sa Kapitolyo alang sa 7 ka lungsod sa Sarangani Province. Sa nahitabong nga regular session atulang adlaw nga Martes, walay kuti nga giaprobahan sa tanang board member sa pagpanguna ni Board Member George Falge, Chairman sa SP Committee on Disaster, o Board Member Joseph Calanao sa Finance Committee. Ang giduso nga dokumento ni Governor Steve Chongbian Solon nga Certified Urgent gikan sa Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council aron panagaan og dungag 2 ka milyon ka pesos ang kada munisipyo magamit sa nagpadayong pakigbatok sa COVID-19. Alayon kini sa makanunayon nga koordinasyon sa gobernador og sa 7 ka mayor. Gitagana ang maong pondo gikan sa Quick Response Fund sa probinsya alang sa nagpadayon nga vaccination program sa entero Sarangani. Ang pagpalit o mga testing kits o mga PPE, personal protective equipment, pagpalambo sa mga quarantine o isolation facility nga anaa sa mga kalungsuran o uban pang kaayuhan sa katawhan. Niaging bulan sa Mayo karong tuiga sa direktiba gyapon ni Governor Solon sa pagsuporta nila Senador Manny o Congressman Roel Pacquiao, Vice Governor Elmer Di Peralta o mga board member. Una nang giapuran og 7 ka milyon ka pesos ang mga munisipyo sa Sarangani aron ayudahan ang mga LGU sa nagpadayon nga pandemya. Wala pa'y apil ang gipanghatag niaging tuig 2020 gikan sa Kapitolyo. Samtang sa pikas nga bahin opisyal ng giablihan ang Sarangani COVID Center nahimutang sa Ladol, Kawas, munisipyo sa Alabel. May bed capacity kini nga dili moubos sa 60 ka buok o pwede pang ma-expand. Gipunduhan sa DPWH sa opisina ni Secretary Mark Villar samtang ang non-infrastructure components ang giabaga sa Sarangani Provincial Government. Matag kwarto ang adunay gibutang nga aircon.